Clear thinking sounds simple, but most people do not practice it. You often feel sure about your own ideas, even when they are weak. Richard Feynman warned that the mind can trick itself before it tricks anyone else. That is why self-deception is so dangerous. It feels like truth from the inside. You begin to see the problem when you notice how fast your mind agrees with itself. You like ideas that match what you already believe. You avoid ideas that force you to change. Feynman treated this as a basic rule of thinking. If you do not fight self-deception, you will build your whole life on weak checks and easy comfort. Self-deception is the main enemy of clear thinking. You may think fooling yourself means lying on purpose, but Feynman meant something simpler and more common. It means accepting an idea without checking it in a serious way. It means treating a feeling as proof. It means protecting an idea just because it is yours. Feynman explained that people often believe things because they want them to be true. You may call it hope. You may call it faith. But when you mix hope with evidence, you lose clear thinking. You begin to ignore facts that do not fit. You focus only on facts that support you. This is how the mind keeps old beliefs alive. You start to see that self-deception is not rare. It is normal. It happens in small choices and big choices. It happens when you say, "I know," without ever testing anything. Self-deception is accepting ideas without proper checking. You may think you want truth, but your brain often wants comfort first. Feynman pointed to this problem in a calm and direct way. The mind is built to save effort. It uses shortcuts. It likes quick answers. It dislikes slow checking. You notice this when a simple answer feels right immediately. That feeling can be strong, but the feeling is not proof. The brain rewards you when you settle on a clean story. It gives you relief when you stop thinking. This is useful in daily life, but dangerous for clear thinking. Feynman explained that comfort is often mistaken for correctness. You may feel safe and call it true. You may feel unsure and call it false. But the world does not run on your comfort. Reality stays the same whether you like it or not. By default, the brain chooses comfort before truth. You can repeat words and still not understand the idea. Feynman warned about this again and again. You may learn a label or a definition. You may memorize lines that sound correct. Over time, you start to feel like you understand something. Feynman explained that real understanding shows up in simple explanation. If you truly know something, you can explain it in plain words. You can explain it step by step without hiding behind big terms. If you cannot do that, your knowledge may be only memory. This is how self-deception grows. When you repeat the right words, you feel safe. You feel smart. You stop checking. But the words may not connect to real understanding or to the real world. In science, this leads to weak results. In life, it leads to confident mistakes. Real knowledge requires simple explanation, not fancy language. You might think smart people are safe from self-deception, but Feynman disagreed. He believed intelligent people can fool themselves in deeper ways. They can build better excuses. They can defend weak ideas with strong language. They can sound convincing, even to themselves. Feynman explained that skill in one area does not protect you everywhere. You can be great at math and still be wrong about people. You can be successful at work and still be wrong about money. You can speak well and still be wrong about truth. Intelligence is power, but it is not protection. The real danger appears when pride enters. Pride makes you defend your view. Pride makes you hide mistakes. Pride makes you avoid simple tests, because simple tests can prove you wrong. Intelligence without honesty leads to deeper self-deception. Clear thinking needs a rule stronger than comfort. Feynman offered one rule above all others: do not fool yourself, and remember that you are the easiest person to fool. In practice, This means you must test yourself first. Feynman explained that good thinkers attack their own ideas before anyone else does. You do not begin by defending what you believe. You begin by trying to break it. You look for weak points. You look for what would prove you wrong. You pay attention to results that do not fit your story. This is hard because it goes against the natural habits of the mind. The mind wants to defend, not test. It wants to win, not learn. But science does not work that way. Science moves forward by finding mistakes and removing them. Feynman respected science not as a title, but as a method for staying honest. Us testing is the foundation of clear thinking. In everyday life. You are not trained to test yourself. You are trained to fit in. You are trained to sound confident. You are trained to speak quickly and appear sure. Feynman saw this as a serious problem because it pulls you away from honest checking. You start to notice how social life rewards agreement. If you repeat what your group believes, you get approval. If you challenge it, you get resistance. Over time, you learn a quiet rule. Do not be the person who makes things uncomfortable. So you stop testing and start copying. This creates a powerful blindness. You do not feel dishonest. You feel normal. You may not even notice that you are avoiding evidence. You may not notice that your views come more from your surroundings than from your own thinking. This is how self-deception becomes common. It hides inside routine. It hides inside phrases like, everyone knows. It hides inside the need to belong. Social comfort often replaces careful thinking. Words can help you think, but they can also hide weak thinking. Feynman pushed for plain language because it forces clarity. When you use vague words, you can feel clear while staying confused. You see this when people speak in ways that sound intelligent but say very little. They use labels instead of facts. They use big terms instead of clear steps. They hide behind polished phrases. This can fool others, but it often fools the speaker most of all. Feynman explained that if you cannot say something simply, you probably do not understand it well. Simple words do not make an idea small. They make it testable. They make errors easier to find. They make it harder to hide from yourself. Simple language protects you from false understanding. Clear thinking is not just a belief. It is a set of habits. Feynman lived by habits that made self-deception harder, and you can use the same habits in daily life. You begin by writing ideas down. Writing exposes gaps. It reveals vague language and quick jumps. It slows your thinking in a useful way. It turns a feeling into a claim that can be examined. Next, you explain the idea out loud in simple words, as if teaching someone smart but new. If you get stuck, that is valuable. It shows where your understanding is weak. Feynman treated confusion as a signal, not something to hide. Then you check facts and sources. You separate what you observed from what you assumed. You separate what you know from what you heard. You keep a clear line between evidence and opinion. Clear thinking grows from daily, honest practice. If you want progress, you must accept error. Feynman treated error as part of learning, not as a personal failure. He saw mistakes as information. If you refuse to see errors, you cannot improve. This shows up in simple areas of life. If you never admit mistakes in your work stays weak. If you never admit mistakes in your habits stay stuck. If you never admit mistakes in your thinking, your mind becomes closed. A closed mind cannot learn. Feynman explained that good results come from clear testing and honest reporting. In science, you report results even when they destroy your favorite idea. In life, the same rule applies. You correct early. You change direction early. You stop wasting time defending what does not work. This does not make you negative. It makes you accurate. Accuracy saves time. Accuracy reduces false confidence. Accuracy builds real strength. Progress depends on seeing and fixing errors. You can reduce self-deception, but you cannot remove it completely. The mind will always try to protect itself. Feynman's lesson was not about becoming perfect. It was about becoming more honest. You improve when you stop treating your beliefs as your identity. You hold ideas lightly. You test them often. You accept updates and corrections. You stop needing to be right all the time. Feynman showed that clear thinking is not about sounding smart. It is about staying close to reality. Reality is not impressed by confidence. It responds only to what is true. When you respect that, you think better, decide better, and waste less time. The easiest person to fool is yourself, and honest thinking is the cure.